What is going on, guys? So today I want to be talking about how I kind of became a multi-millionaire, right? I get the question a decent amount. Most people don't know my net worth, and I keep it that way for a reason. But I got a decent amount of money. But to be realistic and honest with you guys, I am asset rich and cash decently poor, right? I never really have that much cash on hand. I can always get some if I needed to move it out of an account, but that's just not really who I am. But nonetheless, right, today we're talking about kind of how I started out, kind of to get where I am today. It's going to be a little bit of a long video, so feel free to 2x this, right? And then maybe you'll understand and get to know me better, and then two, see if, any of these you guys can do yourself and kind of go with for it, right? So I'm gonna just bring you guys back, basically. Again, I was born and raised in Germany. My parents traveled a lot for work, so I was mainly raised by my grandparents, right? And then I kind of lived with my godparents in England for about a year before coming over to the United States. So my English was meh, right? But yeah, so all throughout middle school and elementary school, what I actually used to do, and all my friends or people I went to school with at that time, they can vouch for this. So I made this card game, right? It was kind of Yu-Gi-Oh was very popular. I'm a huge nerd, and I actually made kind of the own card game. So I would literally buy like a stack of paper, or ask my parents to somehow bring it, or ask my grandparents to get me some, or whatever the option was, to get like basically blank paper, copy papers. That I can then draw on, right? So I would literally sketch on them, like strength, attack, defense, and all that. Then cut it out, laminate it, or not really laminate it. I would just take two clear pieces of tape, stick it together, and boom, I had the card made. And right, there were people that were buying these cards, right? We would play during like a snack break and lunch and stuff like that. So I was kind of selling them for around $5 to $10 a card. Because we didn't need much to play the game. A friend of mine, he basically, for $100, he ended up buying, the most powerful card. He's like, I want the most powerful card. Now, here's my thing. I don't like losing. I really don't. So what I did is, obviously, I made him the most powerful card. Next day, I make myself an even more powerful card, right? He paid me $100. So I appreciate it, right? Because at that time, that was a lot of money. But yeah, so that was one thing I did. Then also, a friend of mine, his name is Keziah. Previous friend was Yates, by the way. So Keziah ended up, making these duct tape wallets and all of that. And I thought, holy crap, this is actually super cool. So I went on YouTube, right? And I started looking at, wallets, and how to make it out of duct tape. So I would literally go to Home Depot, right? I would have like my parents or something, or literally the bus stop wasn't too far away, so I would literally go to Home Depot, buy duct tape, and then kind of make my duct tape wallets, and then I would sell them at school for around $5. The big ones were 10, and on and so on. So that lasted really well, and all that. So one thing that I did when I first came over here is German chocolate, right? As being kind of the first German, I guess, or yeah, in the school that I went to here, German chocolate. I always ate it. It's kind of my thing. At the time, I literally up until sophomore year of high school, the summer before sophomore year, that's kind of when I kind of grew and got a little bit bigger. But up until that point, I was around 90 pounds, 5 feet, 5'2". Obviously now I'm around like 5'10", 5'11", and a good 200 pounds, so I'm put on some size. You can't really tell by the hoodie. By the way, WBB, get your merch, link down below. But, so that's kind of that one thing I did, and the whole pack, right, I used to ask my grandparents to ship it to me, or all of that stuff, and the whole pack cost around like 3 to 4 euros, and there were around 16 in there. I would sell one for about $5. Which is great profit margin, right? 16 in that. I'd literally be looking at like $80 basically, and then minus the cost and all that. I didn't pay shipping because my grandparents loved me, and obviously they also thought I was eating it. So probably shouldn't tell them, but I think kind of paid my due diligence with recent events. So that was another thing I did to make money. I was making a couple $100 a month, but for me, that was huge, right? Now, I've never been the person to spend money on toys. Literally what I used to do when I was super young is we in Germany had these little eggs called Überraschungseier. And what it is like a piece of chocolate on the outside. Inside you have this yellow ball you pop open. There's a toy. You put it together. You build it. So what I would used to do is, and I don't know why my parents allowed me to do this, is I would literally eat the chocolate, put together the eggs, and then at the end of the day, I would literally just put my tiny like rolling dresser into the hallway right outside my room, take my tiny chair and just sit there and literally sell it to my parents. So my parents bought me the chocolate egg. I would make the toy and then they would pay me about the same exact cost of €1 for the toy I made. So I'm really thankful I had parents like that, to be honest. So that was another thing. Then skipping ahead forward, right, I went here again. This was right before, this was freshman year of high school. I went to this thing. If you guys don't know, I was born and raised in a Catholic home. My mother is super religious. My dad really wasn't. I didn't really grow up too much. I'm decently religious now, but I kind of keep that to myself because it's my business. And if I want to go to church, I can. If I don't, right? It's no one's but mine. So I kind of go sometimes with friends. But yeah. Anyways, so I went to basically Christian church camp. And here's the thing. We had these things, right? You would do like, remember passage from the gospel or stuff like that, or like, anything like that, right? The New Testament, whatever. You'd remember that. And then you'd get like this tiny sticker, and all it was is basically a free candy at the point. Because the church camp was ages from like 14 to 18 or 13 to 18. Or 17. So kind of that was that, and what I used to do is then we would all get the tickets end of the night. We'd play card games. When I tell you like these card games, like just BS, right? It would legit be like Speed, BS, all those card games, and we would play that, right? Thank you, James, for teaching me how to play those. I would take their tickets like that, right? So then I'll always next morning, right? After running, I would literally go to the store, get my candy, and then I would sell it. I would walk around again at the end of the night being like $5 for Sour Patch Kids, $5, right? And people would buy it for me. So, that was kind of that. And I kind of made like $400 in that week. So again, no complaints there. I bought some cool clothes too, some merch from the camp. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been like most of my life. Just kind of give you a backstory on me. And yeah, so now, right, that kind of just, again, that was just the base of who I really am. Now it's kind of speed up to, where I made the big bucks. And I want to say something super fancy, something super cool. It's not. I'm very sorry. So yeah, one thing that I actually do is I have actually only lost money on one car. And I think I've had about almost 3 dozen cars at this point. And I've only lost money on one. And that was actually a flip car I bought it from Copart. The engine was fucked. Again, there was no way of getting me going. Freshman year in college, right? And the car kept getting towed from my apartment complex. And after a while, I'm like donated it because I just couldn't keep paying, the toll per people. And I couldn't fix it at a time because it kept getting towed. And I was a full-time student, and as well as training full-time. So I didn't have a choice there. So that's the only car I've actually ever lost money on. But the way I really made my money. So, again, I don't want to say I'm a decently smart dude. I'm lazy, at least school-wise. I was extremely lazy. So what ended up happening is freshman year of high school, I ended up getting caught cheating on a English final. We went to high school together. You know the story. Funny story. Super funny. But yeah. Probably, I don't want to say legal reasons, whatever. But, so that happened. They found out. Thank you, Sarah, by the way. And, yeah, so at that point, I kind of got suspended. Not really great. I was kind of going to the whole Stanford route and everything like that. And, yeah, so that was one part of it. The next thing that ended up happening is I ended up Googling, right, how to make money online. And then I started coming across stuff, right? And at that time, I had a job. I was working at Kroger. From the time I was 15, I was a bagger boy at Kroger. I made $7.65 an hour. And that's actually what I started doing then. I was always interested in stocks. So I started investing that, right? Literally every week I would be putting the money into the account. I really didn't have any bills, right? So that was super nice. Again, that was nice for me and thankful for my family for doing that for me. I also didn't spend any money. I never really went shopping. I didn't want toys. I always just kind of saved and invested, even at 15. So yeah. And then again, I got suspended the first 2 weeks of junior year of high school. So I was 17 at the time, and this was back when Bitcoin was at around $2,000 to $3,000. So what happened? I ended up Googling how to make passive income online this time, right? So instead of trading stocks and learning about Amazon, FBA, and all of that, and drop shipping, which I was doing which allowed me to save up some good money. By the time I was 16, right, I was driving a Mercedes E-Class. It was about a year old, almost 2 years old at the time. So again, I had no complaints. I was doing fairly well, right? And all my money kind of went towards my car because I'm a huge car guy. So that was that. In junior year, I came across this thing called, if you guys remember, the BitConnect era. Wow, that was a big Ponzi scheme, right? So I put $2,000 into that, right? And I'm like, boom, $2,000, which was about 20% of kind of how much I had in my bank account at the point in time. So I put $2,000 into that. So basically, what happened is it kept making money. I'm like, this is awesome. So I started YouTubing, right? I started literally just logging kind of on YouTube, like be like, yo guys, like, yo, use my referral code, all of this. So that's what I started in high school. Obviously, I got made fun of for starting YouTube and investing in crypto. We had this teacher, right? We had to buy like this program for a class for the textbook. It was like $150. When I tell you I don't want to spend money on stupid shit, I mean I don't want to spend money on stupid shit. And that textbook for me was stupid shit. So obviously I didn't buy it. And the teacher would literally used to like play my YouTube videos in class mocking me. And he's like, oh, so you can invest $1,000 or $2,000 into this and buy fake virtual currency, but you can't buy a $150 textbook. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I never bought the textbook. I actually never did. I kept using the free trials over and over again, and he kept getting pissed off at me. And it never changed, right? Even in college, I never bought a single textbook because that wasn't something I laid worth on. So that was just me personally. So anyways, to continue the story, that kind of happened. And that's when I started investing, right? One of the first coins I actually ever bought, besides BitConnect, was actually Litecoin. And at the price it was currently at, I bought it at around $15. And I ended up shooting up to 50, and I ended up selling almost all of mine because I was like, yo, holy shit, I still remember this perfectly, right? I was taking a shit on the toilet, saw the price shoot up, and I sold it, and I called my mother. I'm like, Mom, you won't believe it, right? Like my $2,000 I put in, my $2,000, Mom, it's like, right? That was huge amounts of money for me at the time, right? I didn't really come from like wealth. To be honest, I faked it very well, right? I'm not gonna cap. I wasn't really a wealthy dude. I faked it most of high school because to the school I went to, the only reason I was able to go to the school was actually because my dad made a deal with the company that kind of sent us over here due to that fact. So that was kind of that. Now obviously our entire family is better off. We each kind of grew, evolved, came into stuff. And honestly, that only happened when we came to America, right? Germany with the taxes and everything, it was hard to make money and save. But that quickly changed within like 2 years of being in the United States, which I'm super grateful for. But yeah, so, at the time that was good amount of money for me. So, yeah. Anyways. Oh man, it was a long story. So as we continue going with that, I made good money, and I kept buying more and more Bitcoin, Ethereum. Ended up buying Tron, Doge, right? That was the main killer. Now here we're getting to the point of how I truly made most of my money. So in 2016, right, I bought Doge, bought around $1,500 worth, and I definitely can say I have no regrets. Overall, throughout the time then, throughout about a 2-year time span or so, 2.5, I bought basically a total of $3,500 worth of Doge. And that Doge actually turned into $1.9 million. It would have been a little bit more, but fun fact is actually my Bittrex account that I made back then ended up getting locked because a bunch of stuff was on my high school email, right? Same as my old YouTube channel. That high school email, as soon as I graduated, got deleted. So all the accounts, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with it, right? There was so much of a process, especially back then, a couple of years ago. They've made it a lot easier now to unlock accounts with verification. But now I keep it on a hard wallet anyway, so it doesn't matter for me. But so that was kind of that at the time, and yeah, that's kind of how I made most of my money. But you know, it could have been more, right? I sold it around the high 40s, 48, 45, 48 cents. I could have sold it the 60s, but my account wasn't locked at that time, and I was in Arizona with a friend of mine, Troy. Shout out to you, buddy. We were literally just like partying and stuff, and you know, it was shooting up, and I remembered how much I had, and I was trying to unlock the account, and about a week later, it unlocked. So I was super thankful for that. But yeah, so that's kind of how I made 1.9. Now during that whole time period, I was already kind of, you know, done with like college and everything due to the fact that my day trading account took off, right? So when, you know, the whole happened in 2019, I believe. Was it? Yeah, 2019, right? Is that when it started? I think so. It's been a while when the whole, you know, sickness and pandemic and all that stuff happened. But yeah, so that was kind of my day trading account. Didn't really have much in it. I think I had around 15,000. And as stocks started dropping, right, there were blue chip companies like Delta Airlines, Coca-Cola, they were dropping. So I took the remaining, I had like 12 grand in my bank account at the time, and I just threw it all in. I literally threw every single thing into it. And I was like, okay, done. And then I realized it was like, okay, wait, I'm about to get paid, right? Because I was just reselling stuff on eBay at the time. So I'm like, okay, wait, eBay is about to like send me $3,400 or something. I'm like, crap, Bitcoin dropped to 3,000. Holy crap. So at that same time, it was in March, I literally bought an entire Bitcoin. Here's the thing, it went through. I didn't have the money in my account yet. Do you know how hard I had to beg my mother to like ask her to give me $3,400 because her dumbass son decided to buy one BTC and she didn't know what that was? That took a lot of convincing. And I'm like, Mom, I'll give it back to you, right? It's taking a lot longer than I, you know. I'm like, please, it's gonna cost me $50 a day for my account to be able to draw. I'm like, please, you know. So that was that. And that's kind of, you know, my account ended up growing to around 80,000 from that March to December, January time. So within about a span of a year, I drew a $15,000 account, threw about 12,000 more into it, and then it ended up growing to 83. And then from that January to February was my biggest month ever because I went up to $107,000. And I thought I was balling, you know, I really did. And so I decided to go to Tulum, Mexico for an entire month. Greatest trip I think I've ever done. I met some of the greatest people that have pushed me. I think they realized they pushed me without even, you know, just by meeting them, without even realizing that they're pushing me. Shout out to you guys. So again, super cool trip, super dope people, and yeah. However, at the end of that trip, I had a hard realization. My biggest loss on a day ever at that point. I think I lost around $4,000 on the day, and I was like, wow, well that was short-lived. Ended up making it back through that time, obviously, but it was an experience like any other. So at that point, you know, my crypto hadn't sold yet, but my day trading account was up to 6 figures. And I did leverage that, obviously. So I was day trading with 200,000, so I was making around $1,000 to $2,000 every single day. Then throughout the summer, you know, my Dogecoin sold, so what did I do? I bought a house. For example, this house, and since then I bought the second ENTP house, which will be closing in 6 days. Actually less, on the 22nd. In 5 days, we will be done with that. So that is in the second house. So those 2 homes alone are accumulation of $2 million, almost on the dot. Then the third thing I've purchased since then, right? And guys, I'm a huge on credit. I started credit when I was 18. I have some really dope cards, right? Just the business and then all the, you know, some dope cards. We got the, but you know, I kind of invested in a bunch of different stuff, right? Apartment in New York that gets rented out, a Utah rental property that gets rented out that produces me a couple $100 in cash flow per month. Right, we got the second ENTP house, we have this one. And again, my friends, they obviously pay me rent, which kind of just covers the cost for the house. I made it split it up evenly, not really trying to make a profit off of it, but my main point is just paying off the equity. And we're just all living for about $1,000 a month, which I think is super fair. So I'm trying to be fair. I'm not trying to take advantage of my friends. I don't fuck with that shit, right? And if you do, you're a slime bag. So that's kind of that. And by the way, this is like with getting the down payment back and all that, yada, yada, yada. So if you're like, yeah, but you put down the down payment, so like, no, I got that part back. Don't worry about it. So that's the second thing, right? Bought a couple nice cars. I flip cars, right? And buy watches, flip watches. I'm at the point now where I've just my main focus is actually investing in stuff, right? I bought 2 Amazon automation stores and 1 Walmart automation store because, right, they create me passive income. So yeah, it's a huge upfront cost, right? $70,000 for one, $30,000 for this, and then the other one was around $52,000. Then every single month, right, $30,000 inventory here, $17,000 inventory here, $40,000 per month inventory here that I have to pay, which brings me about $90,000 in costs. The good thing is I usually get that back. That's why I have the Amex Plum card, because I don't have to pay that card off for 60 days. So I use that card because it gets me points. So $90,000 spent is basically 90,000 Amex points, which is super nice, because here's the thing. If I transfer that to Hilton, I have 180,000 points. So this is kind of how I travel, fly, and stay for free. So that's again, most of my life right now, I've kind of gotten to the point where it's cheap or almost free for me to do anything. I'm kind of cut out the major expenses. And I still live decently cheaply. The one thing I will just never be cheap on is food. I will go to Ruth Chris on a daily basis and drop $200 every single night on a beautiful steak because I don't care. That is something for me you cannot put a price tag on. That's just, an exaggeration, obviously. I don't do that every night, like 3 times a week only. But yeah, so, that's kind of how that happened. And now I'm just working on that passive income, right? I'm trying to scale my passive income to $25,000 plus per month. Now, why am I doing this? This is due to the fact that because then I can pursue more stuff that I'm truly passionate about. Stock trading, I love it. I'm never gonna stop that. Making YouTube videos, I really enjoy doing it because I feel like there's so much fake knowledge. And one thing that I just want to tell you guys is please don't just take random people's from the internet's advice or do what they say willy-nilly. Even me, right? If I don't show you concurrent proof or something, then please believe that, like, for some reason I'm just BSing you, and then you gotta be like, yo, I want proof, or I'm not gonna do this, like, whatever. Like, please make me fucking work for you. Like, approval, trust, like, make me work for it, right? Don't just hand it to me willy-nilly. So that's kind of a message, especially in today's social media, right? People just like rent a Lambo, flex it for a day, and then they basically sell their $500 to $1,000 bullshit course that they don't even know works. What? Right? Like, please, don't. So again, that's kind of the next stage of kind of my life right now. Our NFT collection with the team is dropping within 32 days, so we're super excited about that. And right now, honestly, the way I'm just kind of doing it is I just kind of have daily to-dos, right? So I'm gonna just go here on my notes tab. So daily to-do, right, is trade my stocks, trade my parents' stocks. So I actually trade on my parents' account. I literally just copy the same trades I do. My friends kind of all gather around me and they copy me or watch me, and we all kind of just trade together at this point now. Then a buddy of mine, right, he works full time. So I kind of help him with his stocks as swing trading. If you guys want stock help, we have a free Discord, the first link down below. Go ahead and join that. Then I make a YouTube video. I make TikToks. TikToks are just fun for me. I just literally just kind of stand in the kitchen, tossing my eggs, listen to music. That's kind of what I do on TikTok. And then my second channel, YouTube, which is my cryptocurrency channel. Then update the Discord on a daily basis with news articles. Again, first link down below. and just stock picks, what I'm invested in, the price point, and what I plan on selling at, and what my stop loss is in case it goes down, because again, not every single stock pick is a winner. And then, one thing I've added to this that we're going to start next month is called the Highcast. So me and all my friends are literally just going to be spaced out over group minds, just talking about like life, business, and whatever else we want to talk about. It's just going to be more for us, right? Fun time. And if we can turn it into an income source, why not? So, right, that's kind of what I have, and then I just do like daily tasks to do. Like right now, I gotta call a plumber for my Utah rental property. I just found out of a new method to make about $2,000 per month in passive income. So I want to test that out. I want to get on a phone call with that to see if it actually works the way I think it works. Then here it is, research the NFTs from Gary Vee, because I've kind of been falling behind on the Discord because it was just so much. And then deal with a guest. So, because I also now have a rental car business, which again, a large part of my Dogecoin money I kind of put into that. So, long story short, to kind of put it into perspective, right? Beginning of my life, I just kind of scraped, or any side hustle I could find to make money, I did, to kind of then buy my car. From that point on, I started slowly investing in stocks and growing that up. Then I got super lucky, if you want to call it, with the Dogecoin thing, right? I honestly bought it because I like the picture of the dog. I'm a huge animal person, if you know me. Mainly dogs and monkeys and giraffes, because they're tall. So that was that. And from that point on, most people could have blown it stuff. Don't get me wrong, I bought some nice stuff. Like, I like my watch. Don't get me wrong. I like my cars, but what I found out is I can actually turn my cars into profit. So I started a rental car company, which one of my buddies now runs and operates for me. So there's just cash up front. He runs it, he gets paid for it, and I collect the remaining profit. So that's one thing. Then the 2 Amazons and the Walmart. So that's the 4 things I did. The other house, that's 6 things now. Yes. New York, 7. Utah rental, that's 8. So those are kind of the 8 things I did with my money, and I'm still pretty leveraged to this point, so I'm trying to work down my leverage right now. And from that point on, I just want to keep expanding, keep growing, kind of see what I can truly get out of it. But yeah, that is my story. That is how I became a multimillionaire, before the age of 21. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and a thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow with another video. Peace out, guys.